place on record a special thanks to our conference partners, Prakriti, Birmingham City University, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, Nehru Arts and Science College, Chennai, Sardar Patel University of Police, Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur, Kamraj College, Thuthukudi.
My name is Sweksha Saraf. I am a second year BLLB student at School of Law, RV University. I will be a host for this ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm round of applause to welcome the dignitaries on the dais. I invite Mr. M.S. Salim, IPS Director General of Police, Criminal Investigation Department, Economic Offences and Special Units, Karnataka, to be seated on the dais. I also invite Mr. Manikandan Sontararajan, co-convener of conference, to please take a seat. I also call upon Dr. Temi Ayers, co-chair of the conference, to please join us on the dais. I also invite Professor Dr. Y.S.R. Murthy, founding Vice Chancellor, Dean, School of Law, RV University, to join us. I would also like to invite Professor Bhanu Prakash Verma, convener of the International Conference on Global Criminology and Victimology 2024. I now call upon Professor Dr. Y.S.R. Murthy, founding Vice Chancellor, RV University, and Dean School of Law, to deliver the welcome address.
Given due importance. I think by choosing victimology along with criminology, I think there is an attempt now to give greater focus or greater importance to the victims of crime. Because generally, we have seen in any criminal justice system for that matter, we don't have, the victim is normally absent in the entire system. Because generally we see the three types of victims of crime. One is the society, that is the society itself is one of the important victim of crime. Secondly, the primary victim or the actual victim of crime. And third one is the dependents of the victim, you can say. The third major victims are the dependents, who are generally particularly dependents of victims who have been killed or who have been, I can say, maimed. And they constitute the third important aspect as far as the victims are concerned. Now, how society becomes a victim? Because society becomes victim because the societal laws or the law of the country or the law of the land is violated. If a crime happens, basically it is violation of a law of the land, a law of the country. So that is the reason why society becomes the first victim. And that is the reason why all across the world, we see it is generally, once a crime is committed, it becomes a criminal versus the state or criminal versus the society. So society prosecutes the criminal. And it is the responsibility of the society also, it is the state who investigates the crime, then bring that perpetrator or the accused person to the book. So the entire gamut of initial victimization revolves around the homicides or killing, road accidents. Their dependence becomes victim because they maybe the main bread earner or the person who was responsible for the upbringing of the family itself. If it is he goes, then it leads to, I can say, victimization of the entire family. So they are called the tertiary victims, or the third level of victims as far as victimology is concerned. Now, why a victim is not given due importance? I think a victim is so vulnerable. In fact, today although we have different types of victims, I think last 3 days we might have deliberated on different types of victims. But most important, I say personally I have seen certain victims are there who, although they are wronged, there is something bad has happened to them, but they cannot come and tell anybody. That is I can say the most heinous, I can say, trauma of any person. Although he is victimized, although he has been wronged, but he can't say anything to anybody. One example, I remember very vividly in the sense, almost 22 years back, there was a dacoity case in Arsikere, just outskirts of Arsikere town in Hassan district, where I was posted as superintendent of police. Dacoity had happened and some dacoits had entered the house, they had tied all the members of the family and they had robbed everything. At the same time, they had taken one young girl also to the forest nearby. And subsequently, they let her off and then they fled. But the family denies that anything has happened to the girl. Although we know that there has been sexual harassment which has happened, but the family vehemently they deny. They say that no, nothing has happened, only dacoity has happened. So we have to register a case under 395 at that time, 395 IPC. But sadly, the other part, although we know, the investigation officer know, the supervisory officers know, everybody know that thing has happened, but the victim is so, I can say, shy or say so much fearful of the societal backlash itself that they are not coming forward. In fact, if I remember that case notes also, I feel a little depressed. Because people are so helpless that even though some crime has happened, but still they are not coming forward and telling that to anybody. So that itself goes to show how vulnerable, how difficult in the situation the victims will be. But unfortunately, our entire criminal justice system revolves around the accused, the perpetrator of the crime. Everything revolves around, once a case is registered, the victim is generally forgotten. Nobody bothers about him. Everything, the entire focus will be on the accused person, how to punish him, and also how to interrogate him, and even if you see the newspapers also, the stories or the news clips which come, it generally focuses on the accused person only. And also another dimension is the accused person's personal liberty and his human rights. There also a lot of focus is given, due diligence as far as legal process is concerned. Entire legal process is done in such a way that the accused is always considered as innocent till he is found guilty. And the entire even correctional system also is designed in such a way that to take care of the accused persons only. And nobody bothers much as far as the victims are concerned. So this lopsided, can say, criminal justice system had been persisting for quite, I can say, almost since the new enactments which have come since last 200 years in the entire global scenario. But subsequently there has been a lot of shift now. Thankfully, a lot of shift is happening in most, particularly in developed countries like UK, USA, then other countries like France, Canada, New Zealand. They have enacted certain laws to take care of the victims of crime, to provide some sort of, I can say again, the four important reliefs. That is, one is the legal relief or the legal help to be provided to the victim as a basic thing. Second is the restitution, where if the victim has lost any property or any damage has happened to him, to restitution in the form of giving him back what he has lost. And thirdly, compensation for the victim, particularly compensation for traumatic experiences which a victim undergoes. And lastly, rehabilitation. Rehabilitation, particularly I have seen in the victims of road accidents. There is a lot of trauma which happens to many of the victims of road accidents. So rehabilitation for the victims of road accidents also. These are the four important areas where help and assistance has been provided. In fact, UK was the first country to enact criminal injuries compensation scheme in 1964 itself. So since it has become a law in UK to compensate the victims of crime, and subsequently penalty which has been imposed on a person, a convicted person, is given to the victims of crime. And in fact, the law goes further that if the court doesn't award restitution, then it has to explain why. It has, in the form of a statement, it has to give reasons for not awarding any restitution. So these are the new thinking which has led to, I can say, the modus of awarding compensation to victims in Western and developed countries. Under the United Nations General Assembly also has passed a resolution, that is Declaration on Basic Principles of Justice of Victims and Abuse of Power in 1985. So this, even after some countries had enacted laws, they have been able to give a declaration for other countries also, so that they can also take up this matter, and victims should be compensated as done in the developed countries. In fact, one more resolution the United Nations National Assembly has, the General Assembly has passed, which is also called as Basic Principles and Guidelines on the right to remedy and reparation of victims of gross violation of international human rights law and serious violation of international humanitarian law 2005. So this is, as far as UNO is concerned, lead member countries to enact schemes and also to take care of the victims of crime in a more, I can say, compassionate manner, as the entire criminal justice system had, in fact, forgotten the word victims itself from their parlances. And as far as India is concerned, the compensation for the victims was actually basically limited only to road accident victims. In fact, the victims of road accidents under section 304A IPC or 338 IPC or 279 IPC, they were compensated is motor vehicles, MVC, that is Motor Vehicles Claims Tribunal, which is basically a civil proceeding. The accident case is treated as a criminal case, or it is dealt under CRPC, whereas the compensation given or the claims of the victims is dealt in the civil procedure law, that is under CPC. So it was, in fact, it was basically bifurcated from criminal law as well as the civil law. But these are, I can say, only after this enactment of new laws after 1860 onwards. But in India, say around, if you go back, so 300 years or 400 years back, there was no concept of civil law and criminal law. In fact, the panchayats used to decide cases in villages. If anybody commits a crime or any harm happens to any person, then the panchayat, awards some sort of compensation in the form of, some sheep have to be given, some cattle has to be given, or some land from the perpetrator or the accused person to the victim. So that way the cases were usually settled, mostly on the basis of compensation from the accused to the victims. But nowhere this system was prevalent after 1860 when the criminal laws were enacted by the British, the colonial power in India. But subsequently, since the researchers were harping on the rights of victim, first time in 1973, the section 357(1) came into existence, wherein compensation was given to the victims of crime from the fines or penalties imposed in the courts. And also the courts were given some powers. Apart from levying fine, they can also levy compensation also under such one of the, I can say, heinous, glaring cases wherein the victims of crime are left to just like that. So, particularly for such type of crimes, compensation scheme has been provided. In fact, the initial amount which was there was only about 2 lakh rupees, was subsequently enhanced in the year 2013, and now a minimum of 3 lakh rupees is paid to the victims. And there are various other categories of victims are also there, where from 10,000 rupees onwards, some compensation is paid, which I feel is very, very meager in today's changing scenarios. So these are, I can say, some of the measures which have been taken of late, though it is very late, but still of late some succor has been provided. But these things are not very, I can say, not very sufficient as far as victims of crimes are concerned. Now coming to the next aspect of global alliances. I was told this conference had focused more on the global alliances for combating crime, particularly in the aspects of criminology and victimology. In fact, today it is very important that we should have global alliances or global cooperation, because generally what happens today, the nature of crime itself, if you see, they are not confined to a particular area or a particular region or a particular country. In fact, three important, I can say, three important crimes which generally is not within the, I can say, confined to any particular boundary, or one is the cyber crimes. I think cyber crime is one of the important crimes wherein people can sit anywhere in the globe, anywhere in the world. And secondly, the human trafficking, particularly trafficking in for prostitution and for other purposes, is also against transnational crimes, we can say. And thirdly is the narcotic drug smuggling, or the international trade of narcotic drugs. These are the three important criminal activities which require global cooperation. Unless countries come together or nations come together, then it is very difficult to detect these cases. Take, for example, of cyber crimes. I think cyber crimes today are, I can say, it has become very common crimes. In fact, physical crimes are coming down. And physical crimes are coming down so much that today already we have, if you take the total crimes in Karnataka, 25% of the total crimes are cyber crimes only. Because even physical crimes, people are not getting, it is no longer a profit-oriented activity. Nobody gets any, I can say, it's very risky also. If you see the cost-benefit analysis of committing a physical crime like burglary or dacoity or robbery or chain snatching, and you compare it with cyber crime, I think if you make the cost-benefit analysis, I think cyber crime is the easiest thing. In fact, a burglar, for example, if he has to do a burglary, he has to break open a house and commit theft, then it is a very, I can say, a lot of hard work he has to do a lot of recce, a lot of preparation. He has to go survey the houses, see which house he can target. Then in the night he has to come and see if it is locked house or not. Even if it is locked, then there is a chance that there will be CCTV cameras inside, he may be caught subsequently. Or then once he enters through some mechanism into the house, there may be a chance that nothing will be available to steal. So entire efforts, hard work, everything goes. So compare that with other type of crimes, it's much easier. In fact, in a lighter way, I would like to narrate a small offense which has happened in Mysore city. I was Commissioner of Police in Mysore city about a decade back. Therein, two motorcycle fellows, they had committed chain snatching. In fact, they came to near a house where an old lady was sweeping in front of the veranda in the house, just outside, what you call angan. And they snatched her chain in split of a second and they just drove off. We came to know of the incident, but the old lady was not preferring any complaint. But still we were investigating the case. Next day, at the same time, same two fellows came back to the same place. Yes, that old lady was sweeping. And they just threw that chain back at her. With a filthy language, they said, "Are you not ashamed of wearing this artificial jewelry?" Okay, and making us to sweat. Okay, so why I am narrating this is that the physical crimes or the traditional crimes are no longer, they are profitable or lucrative. In fact, cyber crimes are so lucrative, just you need one mobile phone or some laptop or just few gadgets and you can hack anybody's account. In fact, I can see, I am sure many of us, either ourselves or our relatives our friends or known persons, or sometime or the other in last 2 to 3 years, they might have been victim of cybercrime. I am quite sure. I think because the number of cases today being reported today, it is enormous. I can say enormous, and it is dynamically changing also. In every day, the techniques or the technology gets changed, and also the modus operandi of the criminals also gets changed. And in fact, today we hear what you call digital arrest, another form of crime. Then the wherein the courier or frauds are committed, where people are duped in such a way that they are not only harassed, but also they were confined to a particular room in their own houses itself, not contacting with anybody, any other person. And then other common type of cyber crimes today, like the job frauds or the loan app frauds, so many things. Cryptocurrency has also emerged in a major way as far as a tool for, can say, crime. So these crimes need international cooperation. So for this international cooperation, it is very essential that, we need to have common strategies among countries to combat all these crimes. But there are certain difficulties because most of the nations, they have their own different legal systems. Every country has a different legal systems. Many times there are certain sovereign concerns also, because we have hit many roadblocks whenever any transnational criminal is concerned, wherein we have to apprehend or to bring him to book. It becomes very difficult because the laws of the other countries may not permit deportation or sending him back here, or even giving information also about crime. Many times a crime in one country may not be crime in another country. That also is another I can say limitation as far as international cooperations are concerned. But still, in the matter of many other, particularly terrorist activities and other 3 different crimes which I have just mentioned, I think international cooperation is possible. And wherein we have some sort of mechanisms right now in place, particularly the Interpol, the International Police Organization, where 195 countries are members. They help the member countries. In fact, CID in Karnataka is nodal agency as far as Karnataka is concerned, and the Central Bureau of Investigation, the CBI, is the nodal agency for the country, and they coordinate with Interpol for getting information about criminals and also apprehending these criminals. Because Interpol normally issues, at the request of the member countries, 7 different kinds of notices. The red corner notice to black corner and blue corner, 7 different notices are there, which are issued by the Interpol to help the member countries in locating and also deporting the criminals. Then we also have this Interpol Secure Global Police Communication System, which is a secure network for sharing information between different police organizations within the member nations. And secondly, we have another mechanism called MLAT, that is Mutual Legal Assistance Treaties. We have, particularly India has MLAT treaties with 40 different countries where the legal assistance are sought. For example, in the recent some important cryptocurrency hacking cases, we are using this mechanism to get information from various cryptocurrency exchanges through MLAT mechanism to get information from different countries. And also we have the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, that is UNODC, which promulgates different ordinances in the form of conventions. And these conventions are binding in different countries. And almost every important criminal activity is listed in this, whether it is fight against corruption or transnational organized crime or narcotic drugs or suppression of financial terrorism, and also discrimination, then rights of the child, and also on female trafficking also. So these are the different conventions which the UNODC helps in, through these conventions, the UNO helps in better collaboration with different member countries. Now we also have some sort of a joint investigation initiatives, particularly with US, UK and European Union. particularly in financial investigations. The financial crime investigation requires a lot of multifaceted collaboration, because many times what happens, money laundering happens from one country to another country through different, can say, exchanges, or through different modes, which is popularly called as hawala money. Many times, tracking that money. For example, if any scam has happened or any scandal has happened in any financial organization in India, many times, the money gets siphoned off to other countries. And tracking that money and doing a proper money trial, we need a lot of cooperation from other countries, and particularly the police departments or police agencies from other countries. So these are the different, I can say, cooperation treaties we have got with other countries to ensure that we get maximum cooperation from member states, and it also helps us to track down the criminals and also bring them to book. Otherwise, what happens today, since traditional crimes are giving way for all this professional and high technically loaded crimes, just any investigation is sitting in one part of a region or one part of a country may not be able to properly investigate and bring the culprits to book. As I have already told earlier, the development and prosperity of a nation depends upon how we can ensure safety to its citizens. Unless we ensure safety to citizens, it is not possible to bring about order in the society, and that can happen only if we can bring the culprits or the accused persons to book. Unless we investigate the cases properly and bring the culprits to its logical end, I don't think even the law-abiding citizens will be rewarded for abiding the law in a more, I can say, robust manner. So, with this, I would like to conclude by once again congratulating the RV University in organizing such an important, I can say, very important topic, international conference on this important topic. And I hope that the deliberations and also the recommendations of this conference will be shared with police agencies or any of the agencies which are involved in criminal justice system, particularly the criminal investigation department of the state. And I hope that in future such good conferences will be held, and I hope that police and other agencies will also become part of such seminars, and we would also like to share our thoughts, particularly case laws, particularly important cases which are investigated. We can definitely share with the participants and also the students, and also we will get benefit from the international exposures. I was told, I was going through the last 3 days different topics which have been covered here, and definitely I would like to have at least one copy of a compendium so that we can use such an important brainstorming and also the research papers in our day-to-day investigation practices. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Prakriti, our conference partner, to felicitate the members. I would like to invite Professor Bhanu Prakash Nunna to take over for the award ceremony.
Good evening, everyone. What an eventful 3 days, rather 4 days. We started off with a pre-conference workshop, and most of us were clueless that morning, figuring out what exactly are we supposed to do in the next 4 days. But thanks to all the volunteers, organizing committee members, conference coordinators who have come together, and in fact, some of them rescued us in the last minute and helped us put together a beautiful program for 4 days. And I can confidently say that we have organized a successful ICGCV 2024 first edition of this conference this year. Please allow me to take a couple of more minutes. There is a long list to thank. So going back 4 months before, Mr. Manikandan has come up with an idea of collaborating and organizing a joint conference. All we had at that point of time was an idea to collaborate with British Society of Criminology, University of East London, because he is closely associated with these two organizations. And because I have known him for about close to 7-8 years now, and he knows that I work in RV University, he needed an academic partner. To be very, very honest, he was looking for an academic partner, not me, an academic partner, to have a conference in India. So, I think. Yeah. So that was how the seeds of this conference was sown. And trust me, we had spent countless hours of conversations over the phone. It was a relationship in distance, okay? So he is in UK, I'm here, and we work together 16 hours because of the time difference, right? And my wife complains quite a lot because of him engaging me on the call in the last 4 months. Trust me, I spent more time with him than my family. So this person, so this conference was a lot to Mr. Manikandan in terms of putting this together, this idea, and then managing resources from UK, bringing in people from the British Society of Criminology. Not an easy task at all. We've had 12 international speakers. You will see attendees of international level speakers in several of the conferences. But you will not have so many keynote speakers and plenary speakers packed into one program. I think the conference highlights are our speakers, both the keynote, plenary, session chairs. These are the highlights of our conference. We have Professor Nigel, Professor James Treadwell, Professor Tammy Addis, Craig Kelly, Nurjana from Indonesia, right? And Indian professors like Professor Sunanda Bhagavati, we had Professor Somasundaram, right? We had so many of these stalwarts who had present, who were given that enough time here, deliberated upon these critical issues. These are the foremost people that we would like to thank. And yep, I was called in for award ceremony, but I'm stepping into vote of thanks. I apologize for that. Okay, let's begin with the award ceremony of it. So we first would like to call upon the Student Best Paper Award winners. Shayana TK, a research scholar from Sardar Patel University of Police Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur. She has won Best Paper Award for her paper titled A Comparative Analysis of Footprint Dimensions Between Professional Classical Dancers and Non-Dancers of Kerala, Implications for Suspect Identification in Forensic Investigations. Please put your hands together. Our second Student Best Paper Award winner is Selina Daniel, Vinita Kumari, and Umar Farooq Mustafa. These are all undergraduate students from Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. Their paper was on a comparative analysis of footprint dimensions between Like Mani mentioned in his conference summary highlights, we have introduced fellowships through this international conference. We have awarded 3 fellowships. I would like to call upon Sabita Sri, an undergraduate student of DG Vaishnav College, Chennai, to collect the fellowship certificate. The second fellowship is given to Sri Avinash K, an undergraduate student from Savita School of Law, Chennai. The third fellowship is given to Sita Satyan, another undergraduate student, Kamraj College, Thoothukudi. Now we would like to present a small token of appreciation to our knowledge partners. I would like to call upon Dr. Amit Thackeray from Prakriti or his team members to please collect, Soumya from Prakriti team to please collect The Center for Criminology and Justice, School of Social Work, Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai is our knowledge partner. If you have any representative from TIS, could you please come onto the stage and collect the memento from us? Okay. I would like to call upon Ms. Kajal Pawani, Research Associate with Center for Victimological Research and Victim Assistance, to collect a memento from the guests. We all know funding is very, very important to organize such conferences. We have sponsors to thank and sponsors to also acknowledge here. So we have Dr. Tammy Arias from Critical Criminology Network of British Society of Criminology. We would like to present our heartfelt gratitude to her through our memento. When I think about this name, Mr. Craig Kelly, I think of him as a last-minute savior. So please come onto the stage to collect. Mr. Craig represents Birmingham City University. On behalf of Professor Ruvan Udvarej Pereira, University of East London, I request Mr. Manikandan to collect the memento on his behalf. Several of our local partners have extended an extremely required support. I would now call upon Mr. Hariharan, the Assistant Professor of Kamraj College, Thoothukudi. Mr. Anil Kumar from Nehru Arts and Science College. Ms. Shayana TK, the Research Scholar from Sardar Patel University of Police Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur, to collect the memento on behalf of SPUP Jodhpur. I request Mr. Mukesh from International Labour Pool, SRO, New Delhi, to also please collect the memento. He is also one of our supporting partners. I now request the conference program, scientific program committee co-chair, Dr. Xavier Lewis, Associate Professor in Criminology, Savita School of Law, Chennai, to please collect a token of appreciation from us. There are several conference coordinators who have put in a lot of hard work over the last few days to make this event a big successful. I would now request Dr. Arpita, Assistant Professor, School of Law, Mr. Roshan Machaya, Assistant Professor, School of Law, Shantanu, Assistant Professor, School of Law, Yukti Sharma, Assistant Professor, School of Law, Dr. Bhavya, Assistant Professor, Executive Assistant, School of Law, Mr. Bharat, Facilities Manager, RVITM, Mr. Parvaz Lamba, Assistant Professor, School of Law, Karthik Raja, Assistant Professor, DG Vaishnav College, Mr. Loganathan, Professor Isha, next is a very important team, which is organizing committee. Mr. Shiva, Executive Analyst, Operations International Labour Pool, New Delhi. Mr. Ajit VB, Research Analyst, Divisite Intelligence Private Limited, Chennai. Mr. Jai Surya, Fraud Analyst, Fortify 2 Community Investment Firm. Mr. Ramesh Kannan, Assistant Professor, Kamraj College, Toothukudi. I request Mr. Hariharan to please collect memento on his behalf. Ms. Kajal Pawani, Assistant Professor, School of Law. Mr. Parth Sharma, Assistant Professor, School of Law. Mr. Jai Dutt Bhatt, Research Scholar, NIMHANS. Ms. Anushka Mishra, Research Scholar, RV University. Now you see why funding is so important. That's all from me.
Congratulations to all the award recipients. Now I would like to invite Dr. Tammy Ayres, Conference Co-Chair, Critical Criminology Network, British Society of Criminology and Associate Professor in Criminology, University of Leicester, United Kingdom, to deliver the closing remarks.
Well, at least I can see over the podium. So I'd just like to say it's been an honour and a pleasure to be invited here at the International Conference on Global Criminology and Victimology, here at RV University in India. I think, like James summed it up, many of us never thought we would be standing here when we were kids. So I think I speak on behalf of all of the invited speakers that we not only hope that this will be the first of many events, but it will also be the start of building long-lasting international partnerships that will not only co-host conferences like this one, oh, I can't turn away, but also lead to research collaborations that lead to interdisciplinary scholars bring us together in order to look at some of the issues that we currently face in today's world, some of which were highlighted earlier by my colleague on stage. The conference has been packed with incredible papers on important and multifaceted important issues, highlighting, illustrating the dynamic research being undertaken by established scholars, but also students here in India. I think we have all been impressed with the student presentations in particular, and wish that many of the students in the UK were as conscientious and critical as many of the student presentations that we have sat in and chaired. The organisation and hosting, while we have been here, has been exceptional, and that is largely down to Mani and Banu, who have not only done an excellent job on the organisation and planning, but were integral to actually bring in us scholars from overseas, particularly from the UK, here to India, to meet you all and to see the exceptional work that's going on here. We have been honoured to meet the founder of Indian Criminology, the director of the police, the vice-chancellor, and many other important people, and to meet some incredible people doing some incredible work that will hopefully bring about global change. I would really like to thank Mani and Banu for including us in this event and introducing us all to all of you guys. I don't think anyone can ever underestimate how difficult and nerve-wracking and anxiety-provoking organising a massive event like this is. I have co-hosted the BSc, which is massive as well, equally as huge. And yeah, what goes on behind the scenes, many people will never understand. So I think they've done an excellent job, as I said, not only in organising it and having such a an informative packed schedule, but also for bringing international scholars over to India to join the event and share the work. So hopefully these new international collaborations and partnerships that we've started here in these last few days we can now build on and develop to create an international network of critical scholars that will foster cross-cultural understandings, which is essential in criminology, where legal systems, societal norms, and cultural contexts vary. International joint research collaborations can bridge many of these differences. We also found out from many of the presentations there are also a lot of similarities. So whether it's the work I'm doing in Guyana and some of the similarities that we talked about here in India, what this international joint research collaborations can bridge these differences, fostering more globally relevant and applicable insights to many of the multifaceted issues facing us today, whether it's cybercrime, whether it's drugs and drug trafficking, whether it's environmental harm, whether it's crimes of the powerful that James talked about. Many of these issues need interdisciplinary scholars working together across borders. These crimes are no longer confined to single countries. We now have transnational criminal networks, and we need transnational academic networks and practitioner networks included as well. It's important to include practitioners in these to make sure that the research that we are doing has practical application in the real world, and actually embedding stakeholder practitioners in our research as partners is very important to make sure that we are actually researching the right issues that actually have a fundamental change on the ground. By us joining together, hopefully, capturing the varied cultural, social and legal perspectives will enrich any research that is produced. By incorporating a broader range of experiences and viewpoints, which will hopefully lead to more comprehensive and nuanced understandings of these criminological issues, which we know are very, very complex and change as you cross different borders and go into different countries. So drugs is a good example. So many of the chemicals produced in China are legal there, but actually illicit substances, say, in the UK. So it is our hope that it is just the start of something new and something we can build on and grow. And so we can build a critical criminological network of international global scholars that hopefully we can pass on to the next generation. Before I finish, I just need to give a few thanks to Manny and his team that have gone above and beyond in hosting us. So Banu, Manny, I don't think we've ever felt so welcome or looked after, whether it was picking us up from the airport at 4 a.m, to making sure that we didn't want for anything. They have definitely gone above and beyond in relation to hosting and just generally looking after us and making sure that we have had all of our needs met. So I'd just like to thank Shiva, Mukesh, Jashurya, Ajit, Longadang. So thank you all, and let's hope this is the start of some new transnational global partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tammy, for your profound words. To conclude the valedictory ceremony, I am pleased to invite Professor Bhanu Prakash Nunna to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to thank our distinguished chief guest, Mr. M.A. Salim, Director General of Police Karnataka, for accepting our invitation to grace this occasion. Now, as we come to the close of the International Conference on Global Criminology and Victimology 2024, I stand before you with great pride and a sense of accomplishment. Over the past few days, we have witnessed a remarkable exchange of ideas, research, and perspectives that have undoubtedly enriched our understanding of criminology and victimology. This conference has been a true testament to the power of collaboration, bringing together some of the brightest minds in our field to tackle the complex and evolving challenges we face today. The dialogues and the discussions we have had here are not just academic exercises, they are the seeds of real-world change with the potential to shape policies, influence practices, and ultimately contribute to a more just and equitable society. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have made this conference a huge success. I do not want to say last but not the least and name volunteers. I would like to thank them first and foremost. The ICGCV 2024 volunteers are truly the backbone of this conference. My heartfelt appreciation to all the student volunteer committees and their faculty coordinators. My sincerest appreciation to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Y.S.R. Murthy, for his unconditional support of the conference right from its inception. Without his support and guidance, this conference would not have been possible this year. Trust me on that. I would also like to thank the RSST trustees, President MP Shyam, Dr. A.V.S. Murthy, Honorable Chancellor and Secretary RSST, Mr. D.P. Nagaraj Sir, Pro-Chancellor, RV University, and Honorable Joint Secretary RSST for their trust and support in us. And my special thanks to the Principal, RVITM, Dr. Jaipal Reddy, for allowing us to use RVITM resources. I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to all our keynote speakers, plenary speakers, and session chairs. Your insights and expertise have been the pillars of this conference. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and for inspiring us all to think more critically and creatively about the issues at hand. To our presenters, your research has been the lifeblood of this conference. The passion and rigor with which you have approached your work are evident, and I'm confident that your contributions will have a lasting impact on the field. My special thanks to our sponsors and partners, Prakriti, Birmingham City University, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, Sardar Patel University of Police, Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur, Kamraj College, Thoothukudi, and Nehru Arts College, Coimbatore. International Label Pools, SRO, New Delhi. Your support has been instrumental in making this conference a huge success. As a convener of ICGCV 2024, I cannot ask for a better organizing committee than what we have here. It is a team that is well bonded personally and professionally, personally before they became professional and gathered together as an organizing committee. They all believed and trusted each other, counted on the hard work, and overcame all the hurdles on our way. My heartfelt gratitude to my co-convener, Mr. Manikandan, Mr. Siva, Mr. Rajit, Mr. Jayasurya, Mr. Ramesh Kannan, Ms. Kajal Parwani, Mr. Parth Sharma, and Mr. Jai Dutt Bhatt, and Ms. Anushka Mishra. Our conference coordinators, Dr. Arpita, Mr. Roshan, Ms. Yukti, Mr. Shantanu, Ms. Isha, Ms. Meghana, Ms. Parvaj, Ms. Bhavya, Mr. Loganathan, they all worked tirelessly to make this conference a big success. Your dedication, attention to detail, and hard work have ensured that everything ran smoothly, and for that, we owe you a debt of gratitude. My special thanks to Professor Ashwin Mishra. He's been emotionally very, very supportive. They've had ups and downs, and he was there to counsel at every right moment to push forward and say that this will all be okay. You go ahead. Thank you so much for that words of encouragement, sir, all through. I would also like the media and communication departments of RV University, facilities team, events team, finance departments for extending their fullest cooperation to this conference. My special thanks to Mr. Bharat, the facilities manager of RVITM, for his commitment and hard work in ensuring this conference ran smoothly. His attention to detail and prompt follow-ups are very much appreciated. Can we all have a big, huge round of applause to Mr. Bharat? Finally, to our delegates, thank you for your participation, your encouragement, and your contributions to this conference. It is your enthusiasm and commitment that have brought this conference to life. I hope you leave here with new ideas, new connections, and a renewed passion for the work that lies ahead. As we conclude this conference, let us not see this as an end, but rather as a beginning, a launching point for continued collaboration, research, and action. The discussions we've had here should not stay confined to these walls, but should echo in our work, in our classroom, in our policy, and in our communities. I wish you all safe travels as you return home, and I look forward to the continued exchange of ideas and progress in the years to come. Thank you once again, and I officially declare the International Conference on Global Criminology and Victimology 2024 closed. See you all next year in 2025 with the second edition of ICGCV 2025. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Our entire team under the leadership of Professor Dr. Y.S.R. Murthy and the conveners of the conference, thank you all for making the International Conference on Global Criminology and Victimology 2024 a huge success, and we look forward to many such academic endeavors. Wishing all of you a great weekend. We request all of you to join us for a group photo session. What? The group photo session will be held on the ground floor.